seniors. What if I told you that something you do almost every day, probably thinking it's harmless, is actually shrinking your brain faster than aging ever could? Scientists at UCLA recently discovered that people who follow certain common habits have brains that look 10 years older on scans. 10 years. And here's the kicker, over 70% of seniors do these habits daily, completely unaware of the hidden damage they're causing. From skipping your morning walk to taking sleep aids, eating the wrong foods, or even just sitting in front of the TV for hours, these innocent routines are silently increasing your risk of dementia. By the end of this video, you'll learn 7 everyday habits that are destroying your brain, backed by shocking studies that even made researchers do a double take. But don't worry, you'll also discover how to reverse the damage, rebuild your brain, and protect your memory for years to come. So if you want to stay sharp, independent, and mentally strong well into your 60s and beyond, watch closely, because this video could literally save your brain. Habit number 7, taking sleep aids regularly. Many seniors reach for sleep aids thinking they'll help them get a good night's rest, but these pills can be quietly harming your brain. A Harvard study following 10,000 seniors for 7 years revealed that those who took sleep medications like Ambien, Lunesta, or even over-the-counter antihistamines for more than 3 months had a 50% higher risk of developing dementia. If they used them for 3 years or more, the risk jumped to 80%. Here's why: sleep aids sedate your brain, but they don't give you real restorative sleep. During deep sleep, your brain cells shrink, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to flush out toxic proteins like beta amyloid, the same proteins that build up in Alzheimer's patients. Sleep medications interfere with this cleaning process. It's like never taking the trash out. Eventually, the house becomes unlivable, and in this case, your brain suffers. Dr. Matthew Walker from UC Berkeley found that sleep aid users had 45% less slow-wave sleep, where memory consolidation happens, and 70% less REM sleep, which is critical for emotional processing and creativity. Instead of pills, try natural methods. Cool your bedroom to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, take a warm shower 90 minutes before bed, eat 2 kiwis an hour before sleeping, or practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique. These steps promote natural sleep, improve memory, and protect your brain over the long term. Number 6, sitting for long periods without movement. You might think sitting is harmless, especially if you're just relaxing, but studies show that sitting for more than 8 hours a day without regular movement can shrink your brain faster than smoking. A UCLA brain imaging study scanned 35 adults aged 45 to 75 and found that those who sat the longest had significantly thinner medial temporal lobes, the brain region responsible for memory. That's alarming because once this area thins, memory loss accelerates rapidly. Why does sitting damage the brain? First, blood flow slows down. Your brain makes up only 2% of your body weight but consumes 20% of your oxygen and glucose. When you sit for hours, your circulation drops, starving neurons of nutrients. Add to that increased inflammation, sedentary behavior raises CRP, C-reactive protein, and IL-6, 2 inflammatory markers directly linked to dementia. But here's the good news: you don't need intense workouts to fix it. Just 1 to 2 minutes of movement every 30 minutes is enough to reverse the damage. Try these. Stand up and stretch your arms overhead. Walk to the kitchen for water. Do slow calf raises or march in place. Put your TV remote across the room so you have to get up. If you watch TV, use commercial movement breaks. If you read, stand while listening to audiobooks. Tiny movements repeated consistently rewire your brain's blood flow like rebooting a system. Number 5, eating processed breakfast foods. That seemingly harmless bowl of cereal, toast or pastry, or sweetened yogurt every morning is quietly poisoning your brain. Rush University Medical Center tracked 5,000 adults for 5 years and found that those who ate processed breakfasts experienced a 28% faster rate of cognitive decline. For sugary cereals and pastries, the risk jumped to 44%. Here's what happens: Refined sugars spike your blood glucose by up to 200% within 30 minutes. Your pancreas floods your system with insulin, triggering inflammation, especially in the brain. Over time, the blood-brain barrier weakens, allowing toxins, heavy metals, and inflammatory proteins to enter brain tissue. Brown University researchers call this Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes because of how closely linked sugar intake is to brain degeneration. Adults consuming more than 25 grams of added sugar at breakfast showed brains that looked 8 years older on scans. Artificial sweeteners aren't safe either. Aspartame and sucralose trigger the same insulin response, leaving your brain starved and inflamed. The solution? Build a brain-protective breakfast. Omega-3 fats, wild salmon, sardines, mackerel, or flax/chia seeds. Choline, eggs for neurotransmitter support. Antioxidants, wild blueberries to reduce inflammation. Combine scrambled eggs with coconut oil, blueberries, half an avocado, and a sprinkle of turmeric with black pepper. Or, make steel-cut oats with cinnamon and walnuts. These meals stabilize blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and feed your brain for optimal performance. Number 4, breathing through your mouth. You might not even realize it, but breathing through your mouth can silently destroy your brain over time. Japanese researchers at Nagoya University scanned the brains of chronic mouth breathers versus nose breathers and found that mouth breathers had 20% less gray matter in the prefrontal cortex and 30% reduced hippocampal activity. In other words, their brains were literally smaller and less active. Why does mouth breathing cause so much damage? The nose produces nitric oxide, a molecule that boosts oxygen absorption by 18%. Mouth breathing bypasses this, reducing oxygen delivery to the brain. Over years, this oxygen deficit causes neurons to die prematurely. It also disrupts sleep. Stanford studies show mouth breathers get 60% less REM sleep and 70% less deep sleep, exactly the stages when the brain cleans out Alzheimer's causing proteins. Chronic mouth breathing also increases sleep apnea, which deprives the brain of oxygen thousands of times each night. Even your saliva plays a role. Mouth breathing dries it out, allowing harmful bacteria to multiply and release inflammatory compounds that reach the brain. UCLA researchers found that chronic dry mouth is linked to 42% more brain inflammation markers. Correcting it is surprisingly simple. Practice tongue posture, keeping it against the roof of your mouth. Use medical-grade mouth tape at night to encourage nasal breathing. Try coherent breathing during the day, inhaling through the nose for 5 seconds and exhaling for 5 seconds. Over weeks, your brain gets more oxygen, better sleep, and stronger cognitive function. Number 3, skipping your morning walk. You might think skipping your morning walk is harmless, but it's actually one of the fastest ways to slow down your brain. A University of British Columbia study found that seniors who walked just 30 minutes a day, 3 times per week increased the size of their hippocampus, the brain's memory center, by 2% in 1 year. Meanwhile, those who stayed sedentary saw it shrink by 1%. That's a 3% difference in brain volume in just 12 months, solely based on movement. Morning walks are especially powerful because they set your brain chemistry for the entire day. Natural sunlight triggers serotonin and dopamine, feel-good chemicals that boost mood, focus, and motivation. At the same time, walking increases blood flow to the brain by up to 30%, delivering oxygen and nutrients that your neurons need to fire efficiently. But here's the key, it doesn't need to be intense. You don't need to exercise. Just move forward. Even a slow stroll around the block. Walking indoors while listening to music. Marching in place during TV commercials. What matters is consistency, not speed. Think of walking like charging your brain battery. Skip it, and you're running on low power all day, foggy, sluggish, forgetful. But walk daily, and you'll notice clearer thinking, better mood, sharper memory, and even deeper sleep at night. Number 2. Cooking with the wrong oils. Those heart-healthy vegetable oils sitting in your pantry, canola, soybean, corn, and sunflower oils, are actually damaging your brain. Researchers at Temple University found that feeding mice these oils for 6 months caused Alzheimer's-like brain damage, more amyloid plaques, damaged neurons, and 60% worse memory performance. The problem is chemical. When these oils are heated, they produce aldehydes, compounds up to 200 times more toxic than cigarette smoke. These toxins cross the blood-brain barrier and trigger chronic inflammation, slowly killing brain cells. Even the omega-6 fatty acids in these oils, when out of balance with omega-3s, accelerate cognitive decline. Most Americans consume omega-6 and omega-3 in a 20-to-1 ratio, but ideally, it should be 1-to-1. This imbalance fuels inflammation and accelerates brain shrinkage. Oxidized oils from exposure to heat, air, or light create free radicals that punch holes in neurons. Even a single meal cooked with these oils can exceed safe daily aldehyde limits 20 times over. The cumulative effect is irreversible brain damage over the years. Switch to brain-friendly oils: extra virgin olive oil, used cold or low heat, coconut oil, grass-fed butter, or ghee for cooking. Coconut oil provides medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs, that your brain can use directly for fuel, bypassing damaged glucose pathways. Always check harvest dates, store oils in dark cabinets, and use small bottles to ensure freshness. Making this simple swap daily can protect your brain from years of hidden damage. Number 1. Social isolation and loneliness. Loneliness isn't just an emotional feeling, it's a biological attack on your brain. A massive study from Florida State University followed 12,000 seniors over 10 years and found that loneliness more than doubled the risk of dementia, increasing it by 105%, even when factors like diet and exercise were controlled. When your brain doesn't get regular human interaction, it goes into survival mode. The amygdala, your fear center, becomes overactive, while the hippocampus, your memory center, shrinks. Over time, this leads to chronic inflammation, poor sleep, memory decline, anxiety, and even early mortality. But here's the good news: connection is medicine. It doesn't have to be large gatherings or forced socializing. Even 10 minutes of meaningful conversation can boost brain chemicals like oxytocin and BDNF, which strengthen neural connections and support memory. How to reverse loneliness. Call one person every day, even just to say, "I was thinking of you." Join activity-based groups, walking clubs, gardening meetups, book circles. If mobility is an issue, try video calls with shared activities, cooking together, watching a show while chatting. Consider pet ownership or animal-assisted volunteering. Pets stimulate emotional bonding pathways just like humans. Here's the most important message: all 7 of these habits are reversible. Your brain has incredible plasticity, it can heal and grow new connections at any age. Start small. Pick one habit that feels easiest to change this week. Once it becomes routine, tackle the next one. Remember, dementia isn't inevitable. It's not just genetics or bad luck. The lifestyle choices you make today, your walks, your meals, your conversations, are literally building cognitive reserve. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button so more people can protect their brains too. And if you want more simple, science-backed tips to stay sharp, happy, and independent, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. I've got more videos coming that you won't want to miss. Stay curious, stay moving, and I'll see you in the next one.